What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's that time again. We have our 2025 Tesla Christmas update. Now, a lot of people will make videos and talk about what the update has, like the second it comes out. I like to wait until I actually get the update so that I can take a look at all these features in action with you guys. So we'll just work our way down the list and talk about all the different things that have come with this new update and just check it out in person. This is my first time seeing it too. Let's get started. So this hit my hardware for Model 3 performance with update 25.44.25.5. So a lot of points there. One of the things that we did get with this is FSD version 14.2.1.25. I don't remember the last time I saw a 0.25 update that I actually got. I think there have been a few, but we won't really talk about that as much in this video. But there are a couple things that Tesla puts as like their headlining features. The first one is Grok finally getting navigation integration. So before, Grok didn't really have any access to vehicle information. You couldn't ask it to take you places or do things like that. You could just ask it like general questions, trivia questions, that kind of stuff, which it was good at. But this is finally now like integrated into at least some components of the software in your vehicle. I would expect this to just continue to evolve to the point where Grok can really do anything for your car. But right now it's just used kind of as a guide for navigation. So in the patch notes, it says you can ask things like navigate to the best Thai restaurant or find a supercharger within walking distance of a coffee shop, or plan a romantic sightseeing tour. I would actually be interested to see what it would come up with for me in Louisville, Kentucky. It does say that premium connectivity is required or a Wi-Fi connection, and your conversations are anonymous to Tesla and are not associated with your vehicle, so that is nice. I need to go to Target and then maybe grab a coffee at Starbucks after that, and then I really need to go to Home Depot after that. Can you get me there?
Right. I've set navigation for Target first, then Starbucks, and Home Depot after. It's 1.7 miles away, about 5 minutes total.
Can you plan a romantic sightseeing visit for me in Louisville?
For a romantic day in Louisville, start with a stroll at the Waterfront Botanical Gardens on Frankfort Avenue, then head to the Louisville Water Tower on River Road for scenic views. Finish at the Louisville Mega Cabin on Taylor Avenue for an adventurous underground tram ride together. It's open now.
Can you navigate me there?
Navigating to Waterfront Botanical Gardens first, then Louisville Water Tower and Louisville Mega Cabin. It's about 9 miles to the first stop.
There you go. And as you can see here on screen, it has routed me all those stops, boom, boom, boom. And then I can just hit one button and start self-driving and I'm on my way. So I mean, it's pretty freaking cool. Now, while these few other things aren't necessarily like big time updates, I did want to kind of group them together since they do have to do with navigation. So there is navigation improvements. I noticed this right off the bat. You can set your work and home just by dropping a pin. So you don't have to necessarily have an exact address. You can just drop a pin and it will fill it in for you. And then you can view suggested destinations based on recent trips and habits. So if you've gone to a certain destination a bunch of times, it'll probably pop up at the bottom as a recommended based on your driving habits. There also is now an option to automatically use the high occupancy vehicle lanes, the HOV lanes, automatically based on time, passenger count, and road restrictions. You can turn that on or off entirely. Now, another pretty cool one that is navigation adjacent is the Supercharger site maps. So you now get a 3D view of the supercharging station when you're navigating to it or you're searching it on your navigation. Now, this doesn't work for all of them. It only works for a select few right now. I'll try to find one that it works with so I can give you an example, but none of the ones here in Louisville, Kentucky, we have 3. None of those work yet. Hopefully they roll that out to all of them because it is super helpful to be able to see kind of how everybody's bunched up and where you can park and things like that. But we'll see how long that takes. But now hopping back to the more headlining updates that Tesla's rolling with here. One of the big ones is the Tesla Photobooth. This gives me big time, and you kind of had to be there, but big time Photobooth on Mac vibes, like when it first came out, because like the camera quality is pretty bad and like the little goofy stickers and filters and stuff are pretty bad, but it is kind of a fun little thing that you could do, especially if you had kids or something like that. But it's really easy. You just go to Toy Box, and then it's the very first one, Photobooth. You can hit start on that. It opens right up and it uses your cabin camera. Again, it's pretty crappy quality. The colors are all weird. It's all like purple and green. I don't know if mine's weird or messed up. I don't know if yours looks like this, but not the best quality. But then you can kind of take all these different filters and swipe through them. They've got lots of, Optimus filters. They've got your little hedgehog that you use when you order new Teslas. You've got the cracked Cybertruck window. You've got the owl for the Cybertruck Sentry mode. They do have a Model 3 performance filter, so I can give you guys a little picture here. Oh, it's counting down. And then looks like you can put like sunglasses on yourself or little stickers and stuff. Got all your classic hedgehog and 69 signs and 420, all the stuff you'd expect to see in a Tesla thing. And then you can, looks like crop it, or no, you can outline things to make a sticker. You can add emojis, and then you can draw on it with like a paintbrush. And then if we save that, no idea where that saves to. Oh, you get a view recent photos from Photobooth tab. So I can click that. It's kind of like the Dashcam viewer, and it connects to your car through Photobooth, and there's my picture right there. So I can tap that, and I can save it directly to my device. So that's really neat. Of course you can do that. That's so Tesla. And there it is. There's my picture. So cool. All right, that makes more sense. You don't have to pull the flash drive out to get your photos. Yep, so that's it. Pretty simple. Again, kind of goofy, a little bit silly, but again, just one of those little things that no other vehicle has, so it's kind of fun. Now, this one I think is actually a really nice quality of life improvement. Dog mode's been around for a while, but they finally added live activities to dog mode. So recently, over the summer, they added supercharging live activities, and they're really, really helpful. You get the little, pop-up on your lock screen of your phone. It tells you kind of what your status is and things like that. This is that same thing, but when you're using dog mode. So in the past, you had to go back into the Tesla app, pull up the cameras, and then you'd be able to look at your dog in live time, but it wouldn't send you any kind of like real-time anything. This is real-time in some ways, but in other ways it's not. So you don't get a live video, but you do get pictures that happen every few minutes that will show you kind of what your dog is up to inside of your car, and it will give you live updates on temperature and climate control conditions. So really helpful. For another great quality of life improvement, Tesla has updated the Dashcam viewer. Now they've been doing this pretty consistently, really fleshing out the Dashcam viewer to make it more usable, more modern, which I really appreciate. They've given you more camera views with the B-pillar cameras, but now we get additional details kind of baked into the viewer. You've got speed, which is a big one, especially if you get pulled over. I don't know how effective this would be in court, but nonetheless, it's like having a dash cam. You want that vehicle information built in. So speed, steering wheel angle, so you can see which direction the steering wheel was turned. You can see, you can even see your pedal, like how far down your pedal was pushed, which is really nice, whether you were hitting the brake or not. And then you can see your self-driving state, so whether or not FSD was enabled. We scrub here. You can see that we were going 42 miles an hour. You can see, it's kind of hard up here, but you can see how the accelerators pressed. You can see that I was not using full self-driving. I was in drive and I wasn't pressing the brake. But as we come up here to this turn, you can see it puts on my turn signal. And again, the brake's not showing because I guess I was using regen. And then, yeah, you can see the wheel turning up there. Really neat. It's really cool how all that works. You've got different categories now at the top. So you've got aware, handle pull, panic, manual save, honk, emergency brake, all those different kinds of stuff to help you filter out things more efficiently. Under the Sentry mode, you can see how much storage you have left on your flash drive, and you can delete and format the same as you always could, but now it gives you the little visualizer. I don't know about you guys, but I love using Santa mode, especially when this time of year rolls around and we've got snow on the ground all around us here. My car is an absolute disaster on the outside, caked in frost and snow, slush, grime, gross stuff. I hate it. I want it clean so bad, but it's like 6 degrees, so it's pointless. But I love using Santa mode. I love how you get the little jingle bells when you use the turn signal, and you get the, this is actually a new thing, but you get the red, white, and green lights that kind of flicker back and forth, as you can see over here. But Santa mode hadn't been updated in a while. But we finally got an update here to modernize it. So we've got new reindeer, we've got a snowman, we've got Optimus driving the sleigh, and we've got a Christmas tree with some new snow particles falling around. And I don't know if it's like this for every single vehicle or if I just happen to luck into the preset option, because it used to be a red previous generation Model 3. Now it is a red Highland Model 3. You can tell by the headlights and everything. Again, I love Santa mode, so any updates we can get on that, I really appreciate. Speaking of the holidays, we also got a new light show called Jingle Rush. You know, the light shows are cool. They're a really neat party trick. I'll go ahead and give you guys a clip of Jingle Rush here. Now, this next update we've had on the Cybertruck for a while, and I'm pretty stoked having it finally here on my Model 3, but Paint Shop has finally been added for non-Cybertruck vehicles. This stuff you could kind of already do with the colorizer thing that we used to have, or you can do wraps. There's all these preset ones like Rudolph. Oh, that's kind of cool. Little animation's neat. Little Christmassy one. I don't think anyone will ever use these, but I could be wrong. And then you can go to tint, and you can put like no tint, so you can see really clearly into the cabin, and then 100% tint. But obviously license plate is the cool one, so you can do whatever letters you want, whatever numbers you want, whatever color text you want. And then you can do background color if you want to do that. And then you can do the image. And so you've got all these little Christmassy ones that you can choose from. And then of course you can create your own, and it'll give you your dimensions. So I could take a picture of my license plate, fit it to the appropriate dimensions, and then upload it through the flash drive to my vehicle. I have my exact plate, my Louisville Cardinals plate that I love. And I actually might do that so you guys can see an example of that. But right now, I just set it to a black plate with white letters with Metz, and it shows on here. And it's really neat because it just makes the little animation on your screen of your vehicle look even more custom than you can already make it with Paint Shop. And what's really neat is if you're using like the little tire pressure monitor card at the bottom, you still get that license plate on there. All right, so those are the main things that we got here on the holiday update, but let's go ahead and run through some of the little kind of minute things that do make a difference to a lot of people and are nice quality of life things. So first and foremost, we've got phone left behind. So if you leave your phone in the vehicle, if it's on the charging pad or if it's close by and no occupants are detected, you're gonna get a little chime. I'll try to get a clip of that so you guys can see, but it may be a little difficult. We'll see. Left my phone right here. Here's what it sounds like. You can do a save charge limit by location. So if you only want to charge to, 60%, 70% at a certain supercharger, and then at other ones you want to charge up to 80%, you can set those specific things. They added a SpaceX docking simulator to the arcade. I know there's a ton of people that have been asking for this, but you now have the ability to disable your wireless charging pads, so they don't just act as phone heaters anymore. You can turn those off and they can just be little storage spots. If you are using dog mode, your phone will send you a notification if any of the doors are left open, which is again a really nice update. If you're a Spotify user, you got a couple nice updates. You can now add songs directly to your queue from the search field, and you can scroll through large Spotify playlists without having to use a page option. If you use Light Sync with your music and you use the Rave Cave, which is the one where you're in park and the lights are brighter, you can now have them cycle through rainbow lights as it's kind of pulsing to the music. So just a little bit of extra rainbow if you want that. The car wash mode has also been redesigned. So if we go into that and we enter car wash mode, we get this new screen that tells us all of the different things that are on and off. We can fold the mirrors, we can open or close the trunk, turn on screen clean mode, and then we can enable free roll right from this menu. So all of this has kind of been reworked and redesigned. And then finally, for another undocumented one, this is actually a really nice change for those people that like to swap their tires depending on the season. Again, probably be good for me to swap to some winter tires, but I don't have any, so we're just rocking with our standard tires here. But if you go into the settings and you go to service, then you go to wheel and tire, you can go to tire season and you can switch between winter or all season and summer tires. And there you have it. That is the 2025 Tesla Christmas update. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Which feature has been your favorite so far? Let's talk about it down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be among the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.